Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I want to talk to you guys a little bit about the importance of standing while you're doing exercises if you want to be more athletic. So let me put on my +5 out of weaponsmithing, work on skilling up my crafting a little bit. Let's talk about this. And actually, I got the idea because I was over checking the comments on the video I did the other day talking about neutral grip overhead pressing with dumbbells, right? And I was doing them only standing, and that's what I was talking about. Standing, and then I saw come through the feed suggested videos on the right. I saw like Jeff Cavalier, Athletics, was talking about the mistakes people do when they're doing dumbbell overhead presses. And he talked quite a bit about mistakes people make while they're sitting in a bench, the fact that it puts you in bad anatomical positions. He talked about people pushing their head into the back of the bench trying to grind out one more rep, and that leading, he's seen people have strained traps, strained necks, everything else from doing that. But then he ultimately brought up a final point, and he talked about doing them standing. And he said, and I think this was very well said, I may not agree with everything I've seen Jeff say, but some stuff he says is spot on, and he was dead on when he said, if people want to be more athletic, you need to get onto your feet while you're lifting weights. And that's kind of a point I like to make. And I talk to you guys a lot about doing axial loading exercises. You don't see me talking about chest supported rows. You don't see me talking about machine rows, things like that, for building people's backs. I'm like, no, get over there and pendlay row. Row off the floor. Row off the floor. Do deadlifts. Do pendlay rows. All right, that's how you build a back. I'm like, if you want to build your shoulder girdle, most of your upper body, do standing presses. I don't care whether they're strict presses, push presses, all of that stuff. Why? Because it builds your whole body. Doing standing work builds your whole body. Now, people want to argue all day long about, well, you know, it's minimal work in some of these muscles. Yeah, it's minimal work, but what builds muscles? What makes muscles bigger and stronger? The cumulative work that they do. The cumulative work that they do. And as your core and your legs and everything else and all these stabilizers in your body, are they going to get more work if you're standing for most of your exercises or sitting? You're really going to go through and do extra work for them to make up for that? Meaning you do 10 sets of overhead presses every week, or most of you guys are going to go back and do 10 extra sets of core work to compensate for the fact that you're sitting down. And, you know, everyone's like, well, you know, you can isolate the muscles better. You can lift more weight sometimes when you're sitting. Well, yeah, you can lift more weight sometimes when you're sitting. But do you have data actually showing that the muscles get worked more that you're even trying to work? That's subject to debate now, isn't it? There's data out there that's been shown over the years that shows that the standing stuff, sometimes even with lighter weights, can actually work like the shoulder girdle more. It can work it a little more in some cases. Again, controversial topic, but that's a point that's been made. Furthermore, how do you become more athletic? Well, in every sport, almost every sport on earth, is all about full body movement. It's about learning to use your body as one unit. Alright, you guys think the best martial artists and boxers in the world learn to punch using only their pecs, anterior delt, and tricep? Do you think that that's how they become great punchers? By learning to use those just by themselves? No. All of them turn them into full body movements. Right? They're full body movements. They use hip drive, leg drive, use their core for everything. Every sport on earth, throwing a ball, throwing an object in general, you're going to be better at it if you train your body to function as one unit on your feet. Or are you going to be better at it if you try to just isolate those muscles? No, you're going to be better if you learn to utilize your whole body. Trying to isolate muscles isn't the best way to become athletic. It's not going to improve your athleticism. Yeah, it might make certain muscles bigger and stronger, but it's not going to make your body as a whole stronger. And I'll go so far as to say, what about even core work? You guys see me advocating standing core work? Why? Well, it's not just for powerlifting. Obviously, for powerlifting, it's specificity of training. If you're standing on your feet and using a cable or a band to do crunches, doesn't that replicate the fact that you're going to be on your feet when you're squatting and deadlifting? In fact, I recommend using your squat or your deadlift stance when you're doing standing crunches, because it's specificity of training, guys. Better carryover. You're learning to engage your core and work your core while you're standing on your feet with your heels planted firmly on the ground. But what about for general athleticism? When you need your core to work in anything you do, again, just being more athletic, and athleticism applies to whatever other recreational endeavors you do, in some cases even contact sports, but it could also apply to just real world scenarios. It can apply to real world scenarios. I mean, even getting forced into a physical confrontation. All right, athleticism is helpful. Whether you got to fight or you have to run or escape from something or climb up something and any sort of crazy thing that can happen in today's world. What about you get hit by a car? Do you know that the stronger you are in general, the less likely you are to break bones and be injured when hit by a car? I'm not saying it's going to prevent it completely. You tend to take the hit better. All right, and if you get hit by anything, you get hit in the guts on a playing field, you get punched, kicked, whatever. Most of the time, the first time you get hit in any scenario, whether it's someone attacking you, whether it's playing on a football field, whether it's in a boxing ring, are you more likely to be hit in your guts when you're standing or laying down? You're going to be hit when you're laying on your back? Or are you more likely to get hit while you're standing on your feet? It's on your feet. You get hit in the guts in almost any scenario, you're probably going to be standing on your feet. That's when you need your core to be strongest. And it's the same with all these other exercises. Bunch of chest-supported rows. Even one-arm dumbbell rows where you're kneeling down on something. You're off your feet. You're taking the load off your core. Every exercise that you do, if you want to be more athletic, you want to be better on any playing field, any sport, even a recreational sport, you would do better to do all these exercises standing on your feet. The more exercises you do standing on your feet, the more athletic you are going to be, because the more that you learn to engage your core, the more you learn to use hip drive, leg drive, everything else when doing these various exercises. Even when doing them strictly, even a strict pen lay row engages your posterior chain. It engages your abs. All of that while you're doing these things. Okay, it's going to make you more athletic. It's going to make you all around stronger, faster, better. And that's really the way that you need to do things. And so when Jeff said that, I think that was a great point. I want to further emphasize that. And yeah, that's kind of what I promote here as well. Athleticism is more important than just individual muscular development. And you don't have to sacrifice muscular development to be more athletic. It's just simply a matter of choosing your exercises in a manner that are more athletic. Instead of sitting down to do an overhead press, stand on your feet and do it. You're going to get just as much shoulder girdle development, but you're going to be more athletic for it. Alright guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.